Kubala Kubala.
Ilizwe.
Kubala Kubala.
Ilizwe.
Oh, Kubala Kubala.
Ilizwe is here.
If you have been living under a rock, away from social media and news, let me bring you up to speed. Apparently, the people you're seeing here are not just mere mortals like me and you. No, no, no. Behold, these are your new royalty, the king and queen of Kubala. And if you have never heard of such kingdom, don't worry. It's a relatively new one, made up of 3 individuals, and their kingdom base is in some forest in Scotland, UK. Yes, you heard that right. The Great Britain, the conqueror of the past, is now just about to get conquered by the Kubala kingdom. In all seriousness, deep inside the Jedburgh woods in Scotland, these individuals have set up camp. They insist they are not visitors, not trespassers, but a lost African kingdom that has returned to reclaim their land that they believe was stolen from their ancestors. Their camp is small, just a cluster of tents, fire pits, and handmade signs, but their message has reached across the world. Videos of their chants, their rituals, and their claims of kingship have gone viral, sparking fascination, outrage, and disbelief. And at the center of it all are 3 individuals, each with a story as unusual as the movement itself. The man who leads them calls himself King Atehene. His real name is Kofi Ofe, and he comes from Ghana. Once, he pursued music and performance in the UK.
Joyful, O ye nations, rise.
Some reports say even opera music, but today he wears a crown of self-styled authority. He claims that he is divinely chosen, descended from biblical lineages, even tying his ancestry to King David. In his words, Britain's laws do not apply to him. Only the divine law, the law of the Creator, as he calls it, grants him legitimacy. To him, the forest of Jedburgh is not just council land. It is ancestral ground, stolen centuries ago and now restored to his rule. At his side is Queen Nandi. She was born Jean Gasho in Zimbabwe, relocated to the UK many years ago where she met Kofi and they got married and had children. In the camp, she acts as both queen and defender, speaking in ritual tones, posting videos of herself fanning the king, and affirming his spiritual authority. Her own story is marked by hardship. She has spoken publicly of her battles with social services in England, even claiming that her children were taken from her by the authorities. A painful chapter, she says, fuels her defiance. Now in Jedburgh woods, she insists she will not bow to local hostility. When stones are thrown at their tents or shouts ring out from angry residents, she records the moment and calls them proof of persecution. The third member is perhaps the most controversial, Asnat, also known as Lady Safi, whose real name is Cora Taylor. She comes from Texas in the United States, where her family reported her missing earlier this year. To their shock, she reappeared not in Texas, but in Scotland, living in a tent, calling herself a handmaiden to the Kubala king and queen. She says she came willingly, fleeing abuse and choosing a new life of simplicity and ritual. Her family, however, disputes this, worrying that she has been manipulated or drawn into a cult. But Asnat herself insists she is where she belongs, tending fires, cleaning the camp, and joining chants in the woods, sometimes even entertaining the king and the queen. Together, the three form the heart of Kubala, a tribe that describes itself as the rebirth of an African Hebrew people once scattered by colonization. They say that Scotland, not Jerusalem, is the true Zion, and that their mission is to recolonize the modern mind, to replace loneliness and materialism with community, ritual, and divine order. Since the beginning, their presence in Jedburgh has been a mixture of ritual and confrontation. They live simply in tents among the trees, washing in streams, posting videos of their songs and ceremonies. At night, chants echo through the forest. By day, they sweep the earth, paint symbols, and declare their sovereignty over the land. But their neighbors are not always impressed. Some locals have tried to drive them out, throwing rocks, tearing at their shelters, or shouting abuse. Others see them as a little more than eccentrics or performers. The local authorities, however, take a harder view. The Scottish Borders Council has issued eviction notices, court interdicts, and even a sheriff's warrant demanding their removal. Each time, the tribe has refused. When officials hand them legal papers, they laugh, burn the documents, or post videos dismissing the so-called courts. When pushed from one patch of woodland, they simply move a few meters away, setting up camp again and declaring that no earthly power can force them to leave. Now, the standoff continues, and on one side, the council insists that they are trespassing, that the land is not theirs to claim, and that the law must prevail. On the other side, the Kubala tribe insists that the land belongs to them by divine right, that Britain's colonial past gives them the authority to return, and that no eviction will end their mission. So the question lingers in Jedburgh woods. Who really are they? To some, they are dreamers, a king, a queen, and a handmaiden living out a story of resistance. To others, they are trespassers or even a cult, clinging to myths and defiance of the law. But one thing is certain, the Kubala tribe has turned a quiet Scottish forest into a stage for a new kind of theater, not with armies or weapons, but with chants, with stories, and with an unshakable belief that history itself is on their side. And whether they are ultimately evicted, arrested, or left alone, their story is already written into the strange chronicles of 2025. The tale of three individuals who walked into Jedburgh woods and declared themselves kings of an empire lost, and perhaps in their eyes found again. If you liked this video, the kingly and queenly thing to do right now is to hit the like button, drop your comment, and subscribe to the channel. And see you in the next one.
Rock and roll.
Kubala, Kubala, this is my land. The grass I stand on belongs to Kubala. I cherish Kubala. Thanking you.
This is Kubala Canada branch. Yes, that's my tent right there. This is my fireplace. Yes, and my chairs. So we have a queen and we need a king.